Well needed. Well needed. Golf lesson at 4:30. So,
Hello and a very warm welcome to Orient Live for this afternoon's game against Reading. The O's just taking this short trip down the M4 to the Select Car Leasing Stadium, and a very warm welcome to you wherever in the world you are watching. I'm Andrew Butler. You might recognise me from sitting on one of these two seats next to me. Ollie Buck's still on international duty. I don't know where he's gone, but I'm delighted to be joined in the studio here by two Orient legends themselves, Joe Widdowson and Jabo Ibere. Joe, it's not been a great start to the season, it's fair to say, in the league. Of course, the cup form is a different matter, but after a couple of weeks break for the lads, bringing a couple of new players in, it's a nice chance to reset.
Yeah, it is, and I think, you know, having had that extended period on the training pitch, chance for Richie to, you know, assess the squad, a couple of the new additions, and just really sort of get down to work with the players and kind of try and iron out some of those early season issues that we've had. You know, I think in general performances have actually been okay. They've been decent and good at times. Probably apart from Shrewsbury, which was, you know, we can just put down as a sort of one-off bad day at the office. But I think in general there has been some good signs. You know, particularly the Millwall game away, we were really good. And then, you know, for whatever reason, things sort of didn't come together against Shrewsbury. But I think it's been a good chance for the boys to just sort of, you know, get on the training pitch. Hopefully put the previous result, you know, sort of in the past, get down to work, and then hopefully going into today's game with some real optimism.
Yeah, Jabo, after that, you know, run of 4 defeats, How important is it just to kind of reset? We'll have a look at the lineup in shortly, but that chance to just allow yourself to go, okay, not been the start we wanted, but we can kick on from here.
100%, and like Joe said, you know, barring the Shrewsbury performance, we've been well in the games, we've been close, it's been tight, and we've shown a good account of ourselves. But you know, I think the Shrewsbury one, because knowing we're going into the first 3 games, you know, they're going to be difficult against the opposition we were facing. We just felt we should get more out of that game, and the performance just really just took the stuff out of everyone, really. But then knowing the timing, in a sense, if there could be a great time, the timing was perfect in a sense. There was no game obviously against Peterborough, and then having that extra time on the training ground, extra time just to, you know, get your message across, to calm things down, draw a line under it. Our season starts today, and hopefully that's the message. We can be solid and we can kick on.
And hopefully that is the message from the gaffer. Richie Wellings joined us earlier in the week to give his thoughts ahead of this afternoon's fixture.
Gaffer, back to it on Saturday when we head to Reading. How much are you looking forward to getting back to game?
Can't wait. Been a long time. Been a long time to spew over a Shrewsbury performance that wasn't good enough. So looking forward to it. The players have trained really good this week. We've not got many injuries in terms of. We've got Jordan Graham back, so Jordan Graham he'll be back in the squad. We've got little niggles because Warrington pulled out the Arsenal game and Brownie had to pull out late on. So we've got a few little niggles, but other than that, we're looking probably our strongest that we've been since pre-season.
How big a boost is it to have Jordan back?
Well, he's got an X factor. His X factor is when he gets in the final third, his decision making, he can slow the game down for us, and his delivery is of a really high level. So he gives us something different. At any moment, you can score from a set play or a cross because his quality is obviously a lot higher than this level. So we're pleased to have him back. Not only that, the fact that we've got Don Ball in now, we've got Jordan Graham coming back. It adds, you know, hundreds and hundreds of games to us.
Good stuff there from the gaffer. And now the all-important team news for this afternoon's fixture against Reading down at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. For the O's this afternoon was Zach Hemming starts in goal. Tom James comes in at right back with Omar Beckles and Dan Happy marshalling the defence as the centre-back pairing. New boy Jack Curry starts on the left-hand side. We'll be hearing a bit more from him later on in the show. It looks as if though Sean Clare will be moving up towards into the central defensive midfield role alongside Jordan Brown with Dan Adjie, Ethan Galbraith, Ollie O'Neill behind Charlie Kelman. And then on the bench, Sam Howes, Jack Simpson. A very warm welcome back to Jordan Graham, who returns from injury, and similarly Don Ball, who joins us from Ipswich, and Jamie Donnelly, Darren Pradley and Sonny Perkins also feature on the bench. Now, Joe, your initial reactions to seeing that lineup, a couple of changes in there.
Yeah, I quite like it. First of all, really pleased to see Tom James back in the team. You know, player that I just really rate. I think he's got like, outstanding quality from the fullback positions. You know, his range of passing, his delivery. You know, is a real asset to the team. So nice to see him in. I love the fact that we've got Omar and Dan Happy back together. You know, who have been sort of a real kind of fulcrum of our success in recent seasons. They always look solid with those two. Looking forward to seeing Jack Curry today at left back. I'm not seeing him play yet, so you know, heard good things about him. So interesting to see how he gets on today. And then also, I like that Ethan looks like he's playing a little bit further forward again, back in the 10, where we know he likes to be, getting in pockets and being busy, being creative, getting on the ball in those attacking areas where I think he's got a lot of ability, and now it'll be good to see him kind of influence games in terms of, you know, getting more goals, creating chances, hopefully assists, and being that kind of real go-to man in the final third. And then also, again, you know, as we touched on there, really pleased to see Jordan Graham back. I think he not only, as Richie said, brings that quality and that X factor, but like a good experience head, good character to have around, especially, you know, at this time as well, when, you know, results haven't been so good early on. It's good. You need those kind of calm, stable characters, strong leaders around the place, just to kind of settle everyone down. So, you know, the likes of, I think Omar Beckles will be doing that, Darren Prattley, and then I think we looked slightly young against Shrewsbury. The performance at times, we showed a little bit of inexperience, but now, you know, having those people back and And also Sean Clare in midfield, would be interesting to see how he gets along today. And I think as well, I'm going on a bit now, but Don Ball, I think he looks like he could be a good signing. You know, good pedigree. A player that I've heard good things about. So looks like he could be a good free transfer.
Yeah, let's touch on Sean Clare for a moment there, Jabba, because that for me was that when we initially saw the lineup, it was like, oh, okay, there's been changes over the international break, and so it's a common enough road to take from fullback into central defensive midfield, but an interesting move, that one.
Yes, it's interesting, but like I said, we're aware that he's a player that is known to play numerous positions and and give a good solid performance. I think him going into that area, you're looking for someone to have the energy to be able to break things up, cover ground, which he can do really well. And then allow sort of Galbraith to sort of maybe stay further up in attack, knowing that it's covered, because he has got the legs to get around and offer that support. So him and Brown could really, deal with everything in the pressing in and around the area, which allows Galbraith to have that license to stay forward. So I'll be excited to see him, but he's shown a good account of himself so far. I like his energy, I like his enthusiasm, and he can lend the ball well as long as he keeps it simple. But then he does what he does naturally. I think it could be interesting.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so this afternoon's game is available to live stream outside of the UK for those watching online currently. The new EFL broadcast deal means that all of our league games will be available to live stream outside the UK and Ireland during the 2024-25 season. Domestic live streaming is now no longer available due to the new broadcast agreement, but selected games like today will be available to watch on the Sky Sports Plus app in the UK. Overseas fans can also buy a live video match pass for today for just £10 by heading to LeytonOrient.com, where overseas subscriptions are also available. And I'm very delighted to announce that we are going to be joined by Nigel Travis for this afternoon's game, by the chairman himself. Nigel, hello. I'm not sure where in the world you are, but I think you might be one of our international viewers this afternoon.
I am. I'm actually at home in Wellesley, Massachusetts, Andrew, and good to see you and Jabbo and Joe. Joe's actually been to this.
Oh, I think we might have just lost Nigel there, unfortunately. We'll work hard, very hard to get him back on the line. But Jabbo, if we should just go back to the Orient starting 11 for today. No formation change, no kind of real wholesale changes either. Does that suggest to you that Richie Wellens has seen enough from the players in the first 4 games or 6 games, including cup games, that he thinks actually no, we haven't been putting in poor performances. There's enough in this squad to get the much needed wins that we need now.
100%. I mean, he's gone off what looks like more of a solid base. He's gone with a bit of tried and tested as well. I think the combination of Haps and Beckles, has been formidable at times, and they've got an understanding. They've created a great partnership over the years. So I think sort of going back there and adding Clare in there with the legs and the way he covers ground really well, it just makes that spine, that square really, really strong, which then allows the attacking players to go and win me the game, go and do your stuff, knowing we're solid at the back. And like you said, I mean, one game doesn't define, one sort of below par performance against Shrewsbury doesn't define everything that we've done so far. So it's very interesting, and hopefully, we'll grow into the game with that confidence and that solid sort of foundation, and we can build from that.
Good stuff. And I think Nigel might be back on the line there, if we can get him. Nigel, hello again.
Hey, Andrews. Not sure what happened there, but anyway, I'm here in Wellesley, Massachusetts. That's what I was saying.
Fantastic. And I mean, Joe, you've been to his house.
I have, and I have to say it's a lovely, very, very nice house.
Nigel, thank you so much for joining us. Before we get to International Day, how are you feeling about the season so far? Obviously, some outstanding results in the Cup, not quite where we want to be in the league, but what have you made of it in the round?
Well, obviously disappointing to have no points, but that's, I think, going to change today. I was talking to Martin yesterday when he went through Rich's team for today and the proposed team for Tuesday. We've got 22 players that, in my view, are really good. So I'm very confident. The squad's got a nice balance of youth and experience, and I think Richie's done the right thing today by going a bit more for experience, as you guys were saying earlier. So I feel good. I think the season's going to ramp up from here. And I think the Millwall performance actually shows what we can do. And earlier today, I was also wearing the Hearts shirt when I was working out. And it made me think how well we played at Hearts early July. So I feel good about where we are. And I think you're going to see us off and running. But we've got a very busy few weeks coming up now.
Yeah, absolutely. And including one of those games in that very, very busy period is our game on the 9th of November against Blackpool, which we've earmarked as our international game and our international day. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about International Day and why you want to encourage fans from all over the world to come and visit the O's?
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, I just want to say the International Day, we did try and do in October as we normally do. But there are so many international breaks, we didn't want to take a risk with it. And we've actually had 3 home games that look like they're going to change. I think the Mansfield game won't happen as well as the other 2. International Day, we started about 3 years ago. It's been very successful. We've had some feedback that it was too long, so we've shortened it this year. It's great value. And anyone from outside the UK can come to it. And I'd like to encourage people from the continent to come because it's an easy journey on the Eurostar, particularly from places like Belgium and France to come. We have a lot of fans. We had people last year from Spain, a whole lot from the US. And I'd encourage you to come. It's great value. It starts about 12 o'clock. It goes on to about 6, which means that people can go off and do their thing in London and remind everyone who's never been that we are only about 10 stops from the centre of London on the tube. We're in a great central location and you'll have a great time. You'll have a tour, you'll meet some of the players, you'll listen to our head coach who never knows what he's going to do for the 90 minutes before the game. I usually phone him up and keep him smiling. But anyway, it's going to be a great day. So that's the Blackpool game, which should be great opposition and it's very good. And I think I'd also say, because I think this is important, there's a lot more games being shown around the world, like Tuesday's game, which you can probably see in the UK, is going to be shown on CBS Sports over here. So that's the game against Brentford. So I'd encourage everyone not only to watch it on TV, but sign up, as you keep saying, for our streaming every Saturday for every game that we have, every league game. And I think you'll find it's great value for £195.
Absolutely. And as the years go by, the EFL has grown in its prominence around the world. How important are these games to clubs like ours?
It's very important because particularly with clubs like ours, where we've got a stadium that we nearly sell out, apart from in August. We're looking, as everyone knows, for a new stadium in the future. But we want to get more fans for the future. It's amazing how the EFL has become very popular. I get a lot of kids actually saying to me they prefer the EFL to the Premier League. Go back to one of our old themes. It's real football. I watched last night Hull and Sheffield United. That was a good game. But over here on TV, you can now see League 2 games, League 1 games on TV. I mean, the other night it was Harrogate, and I've forgotten who they played. But it's becoming more and more popular. And I think Leyton Orient, with our London connection, can really get a lot of fans from overseas. And I think America is a prime target. But I also think, as I said earlier, people from the continent could easily make it to our games. So tune in, get all your friends to tune in, and let's build a really strong international base.
Yeah, and another way in which we're branching out to the international fans is, of course, your documentary, which came out this week. It's only just been released. How has that process been for you, and how do you think the club can benefit from it?
Well, it's something that the club didn't pay for. I paid for my bit myself. I did it with Simon Hallett from Plymouth and also Rob Courig he was then at Wickham. It's supposed to be a little bit tongue-in-cheek. It's supposed to be a bit different from Ryan Reynolds and Wrexham. So we tried to make it a little bit amusing. It talks about last season. I think it's come out very well. It shows how the clubs are very community minded. I think it shows the fun that owners have together. And I think both Joe and Jabbo would agree. One of the untold stories about football is how well clubs actually get on together. I mean, one of my favourite times when I come over is after a game, I go and have a drink with Richie and Martin and the other head coach or manager, whatever he is. And then we talk about things like, well, we worried about your number 7 and we managed to shut him down. And that's something that people don't realize happens. And I don't think it happens in other sports. But I think our documentary highlights that. You can see it over here on Paramount Plus and CBS. And Leyton Orient, we've managed to put the whole documentary together so people can see it for free over in the UK. And actually, you can see it anywhere in the world, if I'm honest. So watch it. There's 4 episodes, but we've put it all together in one. I hope you enjoy it. And remember, it's tongue-in-cheek.
Good stuff. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon, Nigel. And very good to see you. Yeah, thank you very much for joining us.
Andrew, thank you. And let's think positively about today.
Yes, absolutely. So great to hear from Nigel there, and here's your confirmation of our annual International Day, which returns on the Saturday 9th of November. Only a small number of spaces, as Nigel mentioned, remain available, and you can book yours by heading online now. So let's move on to one of the new boys this afternoon, Jack Curry, who's joined us in the last couple of weeks. He's come from Wimbledon. He made his debut against Arsenal. Obviously, we haven't seen a great deal of him so far, Joe. But what do you think he can bring in? He's in there now at left back.
Well, I think first of all we know that he's quite highly rated. He did really well for AFC Wimbledon. Obviously, earned himself a good move to Oxford in the Championship. I'm sure they probably don't see him as quite ready to slot into their team at the moment. But for us, I think it's a good signing. I think it could work well for us and also for Jack. I think we're getting another young player, highly rated, still learning his trade, still improving. But I'm sure when I come here, play at a higher level than he has been at Wimbledon, and really impose himself and enjoy being part of this side. And hopefully we can also develop him. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I've not seen him yet, so it'd be interesting to see what his attributes are and how he can fit into our team.
Fantastic. And we've got some clips of Jack Curry to show on screen now. Jabbo, there's an attacking threat, reliability, and a bit of balance for the team. I think that comes with Jack Curry coming into it.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's a very game left back. He's all full-blooded. He doesn't shirk anything. He's got very good attacking capabilities, and he comes up with the odd goal. I mean, I've got a friend at AFC Wimbledon who was gutted to see him go. He was the player of the season there last year, and he's obviously gone to Oxford this season. So maybe not quite ready, but the losses will be our game if he gets up to speed and gets going. He plays football like he's played 300 games already. So if we get him into his groove, we could have a really exciting, solid position covered there. As you can see, he's full of energy. He loves it. He's excited to see him up and running.
Fantastic, and we'll see a couple more bits of what you might be able to expect to see from him in an Orient shirt. But we also caught up with him a little bit earlier in the week to hear from the man himself. Here's Jack Curry.
I'm really pleased to be here. It's a place that I've always known about. It's a place that I know the gaffer from a few meetings before, so I know what we're getting into. I like the style of football that they play, so I'm really looking forward to getting started. Definitely getting used to playing my first game in months the other night, so it's good to get back on the field. But I think the main thing is now getting ready for the big game Saturday, making sure everyone's on it and hopefully getting the result that we deserve. Pre-season I didn't get much of a look in, so it's nice to get games, get a chance to sort of show what I'm about again. I've got energy, I'm hard working, so as long as I can give the fans a bit of something to cheer about, get them off their seat. That's what I aim to do. I'm a player who likes to be in the front foot a lot of the time, so a lot of the work I do is intense, hard working and press. I press whenever I need to, so I like to say I'm a very kind of intense, 100%, wear it all out on the sleeve type player. Firstly, you see the ground. If you go there, it's a fortress, the fans make it, the atmosphere is brilliant, so it's just a way, it's a project that I wanted to be a part of because I think I can help. I can, help us get better and, hopefully get some results. I think it's important him bringing up my role in the team. He said I need to be very direct. I can be intense. I can do all of what I do that got me to this position in this team, which is something that I'm really fortunate to him about. And all the staff, they've been welcoming, they've been supportive, but they know how to get the best out of me and I'm ready to show it.
Good stuff there from Jack Curry. You'll see him playing left back for us this afternoon against our hosts Reading. And let's take a quick look at our hosts for this afternoon as they welcome us to the Select Car Leasing Stadium. In goal for Reading, Kanaya Boyce-Clark, Jerker Dorset, Ben Elliott, Michael Craig, Charlie Savage, you might know his dad, Kelvin Abatiaman, Sam Smith, Kem Campbell, Tyler Binden, Amadou Mbenge and Lewis Wing. Joe, Jabbo, let's start with you, Joe. Reading have had a very good start to the season. They've been a club in all sorts of turmoil in the last couple of years, protests, potentially new owners coming in, but actually they've started the season relatively well.
Yeah, they've had it all going on, as you said. The last few years has been a real sort of roller coaster. Mainly dips in that roller coaster, to be honest. It's not been a good time at all, but they look like they are now kind of out the other side of that and look a little bit more settled and in a better place, as a football club as a whole. And we can't forget they are still a huge club in this league, despite all the things that have gone on there. And I think they have a good manager. I like the manager there. I think he's a good coach, and they've got a few good, exciting young players. They managed to bring in, probably due to the fact that they got financial restrictions and haven't been able to sign people, but they've managed to bring through a couple of exciting young players who, started the season well, and they look like they're in a good place. Yeah,
Jabbo, we'll see some of the goals that Reading have scored on the screen now. So far this season, they have been impressive, and like Joe says, they've got a really decent amount of talent throughout the squad.
Yeah, they really have, and like Joe was saying, I think even before they were struggling to get players in, and they've had to rely on the homegrown players, which some of them have gone on to move to bigger clubs, and they've got a lot of attacking options. You've got Lids, who's coming back from the groin injury. I don't think he's yet there, but Charlie Savage come in and he's doing really well, and then Kelvin, I won't say his surname, but he's been awesome. He had a strong pre-season. He started the season off really well. He's held down his position now. They've got loads of attacking threats. They've got pace. They shoot on sight. And the home form's been pretty decent. They've not conceded yet at home. They've won both games 2-0. So it's going to be a tough test, and we have to be at the races today.
It will be tough. And Joe, just to very quickly touch on before we hand over to Dave and Matt, it looks like the situation at Reading might be improving. They might be kind of like coming out there's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel in terms of their ownership and the way that that club has particularly been run in the last few years. That does translate, doesn't it, to the pitch, when you can just feel a little sense of optimism coming around the corner.
Yeah, definitely. Really, I think when you've got a club that's sort of everyone's in sync and singing off the same hymn sheet, and you feel that stability, from the top downwards. So from the ownership to the playing staff, it really does seep into the players, and then you get that optimism from the fans who want to buy in, and when they see a team that's that's hungry, that wants to be successful, that want to work hard and play for the shirt. And I think just from seeing those clips there, they're a young team with real energy and exuberance, and they've probably had a real sort of high turnover in terms of changes to the playing squad. But now they seem to have come across a formula with a lot of young players who want to prove themselves and really want to take this opportunity to perform for a big club in League One.
Fantastic. And the players are coming out onto the pitch at the Select Car Leasing Stadium. It's going to be Reading versus the mighty Leyton Orient this afternoon. I'm very pleased to hand over to our commentary team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Good afternoon and welcome to what is the start of a very important sequence and difficult matches coming up for Richie Wellens men, and the O's boss is looking for a positive response after what happened before the enforced break. And it's going to be tough this afternoon, no doubt about that. Reading have got off to a very positive start to this season. Doi Young remains the owner. That's why there is only a squad of 18.